Hey guys, it's Jojo93. So this will be my last review for The Flash of the show. I will do a season 9 review probably tomorrow as well, when I have more time to think about the whole season. But this will be my rant and review for the Flash series finale. Now, a lot of people online have already kind of made their mind up about this finale. They like things, they don't like things. Now the reason this is a rant and review, so Eric Wallace has done some really good things, and he's done some really crap things. And we're going to talk about the really good things first, and then we'll talk about the crap things. So, I wouldn't call this finale satisfying, but there's moments of really good things that happen. Like, we do get to see Barry do the final monologue. Also, guys, if you guys haven't watched the episode, there will be spoilers of this review. Just a heads up for you, there is going to be spoilers. So, if you care, I'd get the fuck out of here. Like seriously. I wouldn't care, but honestly, just if you care, you want to leave. So then this is where it gets crazy. Okay, so we get an end monologue where Barry actually. Some of the nice thing that happens in here is there's some nice little payoffs for the show, where Barry actually gets to say his iconic monologue and tell his daughter, as she's a baby, his whole life story, while also giving his speed to other to birth new speedsters, just like the comics. And so that was pretty cool. It was nice to see new characters introduced in the comics that now got their live-action debut. Like Max Mercury, they made him native like he's meant to be in the comics, so that was cool. So there was some cool things in it. And then they brought Caitlin back. So Caitlin, a.k.a. Sky High Chick, ascends from all her nature powers to bring Caitlin back. And this was kind of predictable. We all knew they were going to bring Caitlin back. That's why they didn't do a funeral for her, so it makes sense. But so that's kind of the positives. There's a scene where Joe and Cecile finally get married, but Joe's 50 years old. They don't need to get married. They love each other. That should be enough. So to me, that was a little unnecessary. And the best word to describe this finale is it is subpar. It is rushed. There is shit in here. So let's talk about my favorite scene in the episode before we get into the really bad stuff, because I want to talk about this scene. So, the first scene in this episode, we pick up from last week, Barry's back in the main timeline, and you get to see this amazing scene where we're inside the negative speed force, but it looks like we're in like a red version of Barry's old house. And in the negative speed force, you see Zoom is brought back, similar to No Way Home style. You see him come back, he's freaking out, having the dead Flash, the Black Flash flashbacks from when he was attacked by the time rifts. And he's all mad. He's like, who took me from my timeline, like trying to figure everything out. And then Godspeed shows up and he's like, who took me? I was about to kill Bart, and like I was about to kill that stupid speedster. And you get this really big vibe, like shit's going down. He's like, oh, did you do this? And like he's all mad, I'm the god of speed. And these speedsters are just mocking each other. And Zoom's like, oh, I like you. And Zoom's like, oh, you think you're threatening? I like that. I'm gonna mess you up, kid. And I loved how Zoom was just like, I'm the big dog, bitch. You ain't got nothing on me. And then Savitar comes in claiming he's the god of speed. And then everyone's like, well, who brought us together? And then all of a sudden, Reverse Flash walks up from the stairs, Thawne, and he's like, oh, you guys thought you guys were the gods of speed? See, I'm the fastest man alive. I'm the one that gets to kill Barry. I'm cool. It works. And then asking about who all summoned them. Then we get the reveal. Eddie Thawne comes in as Cobalt Blue with the negative speed force and the crystal, and we get to see his reveal of his suit. His suit is very comic book accurate, and I was happy to see how it turned out. I really was. I thought it looked great. My only criticism is, so in this moment, we get what's known as the Legion of Zoom. All these speedsters get the speed from the negative speed force to go fight the heroes. But unfortunately, even though Cobalt Blue is meant to have blue lightning and Zoom is meant to have blue lightning, since it's the negative speed force, they give everyone the same Reverse Flash red lightning. Same with Red Death. And I just don't think it looks very good against the orange or the yellow lightning that Barry has. I think it would have been better if Cobalt Blue and Zoom had blue, and you could have just had the negative speed force just have different color lightning. Because I think the red only really works for certain speedsters like Reverse Flash and the others, but here it just doesn't work. It just is a mess, and it was okay, but it wasn't crazy. So then we get the scene where Cobalt Blue goes to visit Barry, and give as Iris has been in the hospital for a while, he goes to give her flowers, and then She says Iris says the iconic line. Also, Iris is not in this episode very much. I know she's giving birth, but for the series finale, it's shocking how little screen time Iris has. But so then you get to see, so then Barry goes and Iris says, if it wasn't going to be Harrison Wells and it wasn't going to be Joe, because Joe's not in this episode very much either, it had to be Iris West Allen saying, "Run, Barry, run." And he runs. And then we get this cool exchange between Cobalt Blue and Barry in their first fight scene against each other. And you have the red lightning and Barry's yellow lightning both doing their super cool running effect. Some people said it looked goofy. I thought it looked fine. Once again, my only criticism was the lightning needed to be blue. I think it would have looked way cooler. And when Cobalt Blue does his iconic sword from the comics, it needed to be blue. The red just, it didn't look right. And some of the effects were a bit iffy. It was a bit dodgy at times. And then we get to the moment where Barry and Cobalt Blue stop, and Cobalt Blue's crazy. He wants to ruin Barry's life. He wants his life. It's going insane. And then we get this iconic moment where all Barry's friends from Team Flash from the future, even though it's unclear, like Future Cecile, if it's regular Cecile or Future Cecile or how it all works, I think it's Future Cecile. And then you have Allegra and you got Mark, aka I can never remember, Chilblain. So yeah, and then you had Keone. So you had the whole big team here to fight, and they're all thinking they're fighting Cobalt Blue, and then a fight ensues where they face off. The evil speedsters, aka the Legion of Zoom, appears, and you fight all of them, and they all fight. But this is where things get messy, because what I thought was going to happen in this scene was Barry was going to run around and fight all his enemies at once since he's that fast. Instead of doing a cool thing and a story thing, Eric Wallace chooses to do something ballsy, which did not work out very good for him. So you have Nora West Allen, Barry's daughter, XS from the future. She takes on Savitar, so she has to kill a version of her father, and he tries to stab her the same way he tries to stab her mom, but she flips it on him and kills Savitar. Like I said, for me, I can see this bothering fans of Savitar. For me, this didn't bother me because I think Savitar is kind of a punk bitch. I don't really think he was that crazy of a good villain like some people do. So for me, this didn't bother me. And you'll see in the rankings. And then you had Cecile, and then you had Cecile versus Godspeed. Now, I don't give a shit about Godspeed. I don't think Godspeed's a threatening villain. I think he's also a punk ass that did not have any good point of reference here or anything that really did anything good. But the thing that pisses me off is this Cecile in the future is so fucking OP. Like, she can get inside their minds. She can fly. She's basically Superman, but with, like, telekinetic powers. And it's fucking stupid. Like, I've always had a mixed relationship with the character Cecile. I don't mind the character, but they really made her stupid in this, and it really pissed me off. So that was annoying. I didn't like that one bit. I don't care that it was done to Godspeed. I'm glad it was Godspeed and not better than someone else. But how overpowered fucking Cecile is just ridiculous, and it's stupid. And then we move on to the next one. Then we get to see, so you got Barry kind of dealing with Cobalt Blue, but nothing crazy has happened. They kind of both doing their separate ways. And then it goes around to Reverse Flash is trying to kill Chester, and out of nowhere, just when he's about to die, fucking Allegra shows up out of nowhere. That Captain Marvel wannabe-ass, bitch-ass cunt shows up, and she fucking does the stupidest shit I've ever seen, where her powers are only supposed to affect her ultraviolet rays enemies. But no, she has the moment where she fucking has to go and do her shit, where she fucking, like, does her ultraviolet suit, and she beats Reverse Flash. She one-punches, man, Reverse Flash, the greatest speedster villain of all time. Fuck you, Eric Wallace. Fuck you. That's bullshit. There is no way that will happen. And so that pissed me off. And so then, next thing, we see Zoom in the tunnel, and Keone's there with Chilblain, and Zoom's doing the whole lightning thing, and he, like, absorbs all the power, throws a bunch of lightning at her. She absorbs it. They've established that Keone is this, like, super OP, like, Poison Ivy level nature power. So I can kind of live with what they did here, but the thing that pisses me off is, I'm mad about how Reverse Flash went down. When it comes to Zoom, the thing that pissed me off is, they filmed for days. They had these speedsters in 3 scenes. we needed to have them in more episodes. They needed to either make the season longer or screw the crappy shit they put in episode 12 and 11 and put the speedsters introduced last episode. Because this is bullshit. It was bullshit. Like, it was so annoying and not worth it. So then, we get all the speedsters are defeated, and then, except for Cobalt Blue, and then, Thawne, Eddie retreats, and Barry and them have this encounter, but Barry is saved by the variant from the other Earth 2 version of Barry's dad, being Jay Garrick, the original Flash, shows up to combat Cobalt Blue, and then Barry says, we have a great scene with Grant Gustin where he basically states, oh, I need to get through to him, and Keelan helps him, and can you get me into the negative speed force so I can meet with Eddie? And then this is where we get probably one of my other favorite scenes of the episode, because I wasn't expecting them to go as hard on this. We get to see Barry mano-a-mano with Eddie trying to get through to him, but the negative speed force is so in Eddie's head that it's not going. So Barry's not doing the Captain America Winter Soldier thing against Bucky, where he's like, Eddie's his friend. He doesn't want to fight him. So Eddie is doing front kicks and just rocking Barry's shit. There's blood dripping from his mouth. It was pretty brutal for the CW. I was impressed. I was impressed that actually happened. So that encounter was decent. You get to see Barry get thrown to the table a couple times, but ultimately the crystal gets smashed, and Cobalt Blue and Barry agree to coexist, and Cobalt Blue gets to keep his powers, but he's not corrupted by the negative speed force. Him and Barry and the Speed Force, they control it, they own it together. And so then Barry makes it in time to see Nora Born. We get this whole moment where everyone gets to see Nora Born. It was great. Then Thomas Wells shows up to talk to Keown and say, hey, are you ready to go? You're going to leave this body and go for a greater purpose, because she's going to leave and then Caitlyn's going to take over. We get this great speech where she mentions how, we start as dust and we end as dust, and that was kind of emotional, and it did its part for sure. But overall, that was pretty interesting. And so then we get this great party where everyone says goodbye, and then Caitlyn is brought back to us. We get this party with everyone there, and everyone's like, I miss you, and then we get the bit I talked about with Cecile and Joe's weird proposal, which wasn't needed. But then we also find out that Iris won the polls early like she's supposed to. And then we get the scene where Barry gives all the speedster energy to everyone. So overall, this episode of The Flash, for a series finale, it's subpar. If I have to rate it, I'll give it a 5 out of 10. I have a lot of problems with it. It's a subpar series finale, and what they did to our favorite evil speedsters is unforgivable, and I'm incredibly pissed about it. Let me know what you guys thought about The Flash series finale, and look for my full Flash season finale. This finale was unsatisfying, but had some good heart moments. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Have a great day. Not bad. All right.